Hello everyone, Joe Neat, Executive Producer on Sea of Thieves here with another weekly dev update. So first of all, just a little bit around Friends Play Free. So really great to see the reception to this, great to see how everyone's been sharing their codes with their friends or even sharing with strangers and seeing so many new players come into the game. So really pleased with how well this has gone down and really great to see how the community and everyone has really kind of latched onto this and has just been sharing what they love around Sea of Thieves and bringing new players into the experience and just giving them great adventures. So thanks so much for taking part in this. So the mercenary cosmetics that were brought in as part of the Friends Play Free promotion will be available until late February, early March. Just a few notes about the build itself. So obviously with this update we introduced the fix for the double gun issue, but we have seen that there is just certain circumstances where this can still occur. So we're working on a fix for that now and that will be in our next update. Alongside that, we obviously made a series of weapon balancing changes in this update, and because of the nature of a game like Sea of Thieves where you really kind of need to see this play out over a little bit of time to see how people use the different weapons and how they balance against each other and what tactics people start to develop. We really want to just see how this beds in over a little period of time. We're looking at the feedback points and we're looking at the data to see the balance between all the weapons. So for the moment, we're just kind of watching and observing, and then we will continue to tune and improve and really just get that balance between all of the weapons as we want. We also introduced a slight issue with the audio where sometimes you couldn't hear the ship filling up with water. Again, that's something we've identified and we fixed, so that will be in the next update that comes out to you. Some of you may have noticed on the day of the update itself, we saw some slightly higher instability out there in the game. We swiftly identified what that was and released a hotfix to resolve it. We also introduced the new setting for streamers to turn off other crews' gamer tags that they encounter in the world. We've seen feedback that people also want the ability to turn off their crewmates' gamer tags, so we've added that to our list too. So obviously last week on Inside Xbox, I talked about March 20th of being our anniversary for Sea of Thieves, and our plan to reveal everything that's coming to the game that we've been working on across the whole studio and the date that we plan to bring that to players. The majority of the studio's focus is all about that mega update and all about the different areas that we're working on, you know, from arena through to pets and the new quest stuff that we're bringing to adventure, a bunch of other areas that we're looking forward to reveal too. So there's so much exciting things going on across the studio. It's a really exciting time. We're really looking forward to March 20th and getting to that point and showing you everything. And so between now and then, really what we expect to see is probably just a couple of updates to the game, which are going to be mainly focused on quality of life improvements, so kind of feedback points, bugs, combat improvements and balancing, all of these kind of areas. But when we do any of those game updates, we also plan to introduce new mercenary voyages. So this is something that we've seen go down really well. You know, from when we tried this with the Gilded Gifts in December and saw the different dynamics and the different kind of behaviours this drove in the world, and then the Friends Play Free, this new mercenary voyage. It's really cool to see everybody out there on these voyages, on the kind of voyage of the Rum Runner. And so we want to continue bringing in mercenary voyages that just drive really interesting behaviour, maybe drive some of that really cool kind of going out on quests, but other people hunting players down and things. So really looking forward to the different types of behaviour that we can drive with these on the run up to the reveal of everything that we've been working on. One thing that became apparent with the release of the last update is that we obviously introduced a few little issues into this. We had the instability, which we've swiftly resolved, but some of the other issues that I've talked through in this video already. And that is due to the amount of changes that are going on to the core game at the moment with all of the stuff that we're working on across the studio. And it's just the kind of nature of games development, which is that when you're changing a lot of different areas of kind of the code base or of all the assets that you're working on, it just introduces risk. And so with any game updates that we're going to be putting out leading up to that kind of mega update, we just have to be really, really kind of careful and cautious and make sure we get all of the test coverage that we can and that we really use Pioneers well to ensure that we are as confident as we can before we release any update to our players. This means that we're just, with any update that we're doing, we're just making sure that the value of what we're planning to bring out is worth the kind of the risk of doing an update, the risk of releasing anything new into the world. You'll have seen indications of the work that is going on with changes that we're having to make to assets in the world, whether that's stuff hidden in underwater caves or those kind of gaps appearing on the front of the ship. And so those are quite noticeable and obvious kind of areas where we're making changes and things are coming. But it's also any of those issues that we introduced in the last update, we looked into those, and they're all specifically related to work that is going on for content that is coming as part of this mega update. So it's just, again, it's just part of the nature of the beast, really, is, you know, we've got a really big team working on such a wide range of new stuff to bring into the game, that it introduces slight risk when we are updating the game. So again, we just really have to be really focused on what we're bringing in, and ensuring that we get the widest coverage that we can, both with our internal test and with pioneers prior to releasing it to people. We so appreciate all of the support that all of our pioneers give us when they're testing builds, they're giving us feedback, they're giving us bug reports. It helps massively in ensuring that when we do release an update to the wider audience, that it's as stable and secure as it can be. One other thing we are working on at the moment is just the option for pioneers to be opt-in. So there's some work going on around that. We'll share more on that soon, but that should give many more people who have been asking the opportunity to get involved in the pioneer testing and to really help out with that feedback and with that bug testing kind of side of things for us. So that's it from me. I'll see you on the seas.
Finally back where I belong, the bit no one watches. Well, if you liked what you just saw, then remember there's lots more where that came from. So just like and subscribe and click that little ship's bell for all those notifications. Cheers.